What up, sluts? This is Taylor, and real quick before I get into today's story, because it's still fresh in my head, it happened a few minutes ago, there's a link in the description that goes to a Facebook page, and I'm getting graded in a marketing class, and it's actually a pretty important class, so if you guys could go and like that Facebook page, you don't even have to look at it, just like it, because that's all that really matters is the number. So if you get up to 2,000 likes on that Facebook page, I think it's at like 1,100 right now, I'm going to do an open lobby this weekend, and so look forward to that, and so it really doesn't take any time, just a couple seconds, go click like, and I'd really appreciate it. But I've digressed long enough. So, into the story for today. So I had a psychology exam today, and honestly, I went into it kind of just lackadaisically, not really thinking too much about the material, because it's at that point in the semester where if you are in a class like this one, where they drop the lowest test grade and you've done pretty well so far, you really don't have that much to worry about. So as I walked in, everybody else was really rifling through their notebooks, trying to review at the last second, but I was really kind of just chilling, not feeling too much pressure. So I walked in a little bit late, not late for the exam, but late compared to everybody else who got there early, and so I had to just take a seat in the very, very back, because that was all that was available aside from the handicap seats, which are essentially, if you haven't been into a college lecture hall, behind each section of seats in the very back there are these big tables where people who are handicapped or in wheelchairs or whatever, they can go and take the test there, since obviously they couldn't take it in a regular seat. And so I'm sitting there just doing what I always do in those situations, which is people watching, because that's phenomenally interesting. And out of nowhere, to the left, well, I guess not out of nowhere, out of the hallway outside of the room, rather, the biggest female I have ever seen walked into the room. And I'm not saying big like height. She was probably like, I don't know, 5'11", which, that's pretty big for a girl. But I'm saying just like big, like a big woman, just massive, like huge. Like you could feel the ground shake every time she took a step. Like it was unbelievable. And so she's walking over, and everybody's looking at her. I'm looking around, everybody's staring at her. And she walks, and then she takes a seat in the handicapped area. And obviously, she couldn't fit into a regular desk, and so it's no big deal. And honestly, there weren't any other handicapped people there who were needing those seats, so it wasn't a big deal. She just sat down and started taking all of her stuff out, and of course what appeared to be a normal retrieval of things from your backpack onto the table in front of you turned ridiculous, because immediately she reached into her backpack, and it's a normal looking backpack, like a normal like sized backpack, and almost like it's Hermione's purse that has that infinite amount of space, she pulls out 3 containers of Tupperware, like just 3 Tupperware containers, and sets them on the desk, and then she takes out a small Tupperware container and puts it next to it, and then takes out a 2 liter of Sprite and puts that next to it. Maybe it was Mountain Dew, I don't remember. But I'm sitting there watching this, and I'm like, what the hell is about to go down? Then she reaches into one of the Tupperware containers and takes out 2 pieces of bread and then closes that container and then opens the other one, and she starts to make a freaking sandwich. She's making a sandwich as we are like having an exam passed out. Like, keep in mind, this is not way before a test. This is like the teacher is up at the front of the class explaining all that BS that we already know about Scantrons and how to fill out all the information, our student numbers and whatnot. And she is sitting back there making a sandwich. And it would have been like kind of excusable if it were a sandwich that was like, I don't know, a piece of bread and cheese. Like maybe she hadn't eaten in a long time and she was starving and just wanted to have some brain food for the test. But no, she pulled out like ham and turkey and mayonnaise. She pulled out a jar of mayonnaise. Are you kidding me? And then she pulls out, I guess it looked like some sort of salami or something. So this was a huge deli sandwich. This was no trifling sandwich. This was the kind of sandwich where everyone looking around at her could see that sandwich and was like, oh, hell yeah, I wish I had a sandwich like that right now. But obviously, nobody else would make a sandwich like that then, because nobody else is ridiculous enough to have jars of open mayonnaise out. And like, I still remember the look on the professor's face when the professor was walking up the middle aisle, because she kind of like gave a cursory glance at the girl, and she must have like looked at her and immediately looked back like, oh, there's no way there's someone making a sandwich in my class as I'm handing out an exam. There's no way. That's ridiculous. And then lo and behold, she got back there and she looked at her, and it was like she didn't even say anything. She had nothing to say. Like, what do you tell someone like that? How do you scold someone who is making a sandwich in the back of your classroom? And at this point, like, even though there weren't any other handicapped people in the class, at least at her table, she was taking up almost the whole table. Like, she was laying it out like a goddamn buffet. And it was at that moment that I realized that this girl, if I were the Pope, I would make her the patron saint of not giving a shit. Because as much, like, as rude as that is to kind of do in a testing center, I had to have a little bit of respect for her. Because I was like, yeah, this girl, she's not stupid. She knows that everyone around her is staring. She knows she's really, really big and that people are, like, probably making fun of her. But she doesn't give a shit. She's just making a sandwich and just enjoying her life. And, like, as weird as that sounds to me, I just kind of looked at her and was like, I wanted to stand up and be like, yeah, Yeah, you make that sandwich. You make that sandwich and you eat it. And that's what I did. No, I'm kidding. I didn't actually do anything. I kind of just looked at her strangely like everyone else. But anyway, that's the whole story. She ate the sandwich as the test was happening, and it was pretty weird. I hope she didn't get any mayo on it. But anyway, no moral to this story, and I love you.